मत कहला जाइछि बोली से दिन कहला चिंता वाला नहीं जाइछि
Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. So we are talking about something called conservatism. Okay, then one more example I'll cite about conservatism concept. That is, suppose you buy some inventory, okay, and where the price of the inventory, the input goes up and down, okay, very frequently maybe, or so buy the inventory for let's say pay 100 rupees per kg, and at the end of the accounting period you find that 20 kg of that material is left over, and when you look at the cost of that particular material, if you have paid 100 rupees per kg, what is the value of the material then? 2000 rupees, right? 20 into 100, correct? Then in the market, suppose you are going to procure that material again today, okay, and that is going to be, let's say, 110 rupees. The total including transportation, etc., that comes 110 rupees. So value of the material from the market point of view, how much? 20 into 10, 2200, okay. But there is a concept in inventory valuation. Inventory valuation concept says that you will value the inventory at the cost or market whichever is lower. So what is the cost of the inventory? 2000. Market value is 2200, but you will take only 2000 rupees as the value of inventory to report in your balance sheet as an asset, because that is the value of the closing stock left over. Similarly, if the price of the material has gone down by some rupees, let's say the cost of material is now 190 rupees per kg instead of 200 rupees. Okay, then what is the value of the material as per market? 190 into 20 comes to how much? Sorry, how much was there? 110 kg, na? Example. What is the example?
10 kg.
10 kg.
20 kg.
Okay, 20 kg and your procurement is 100 rupees. Initially, 100 rupees per kg, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
let me go back there. Let me rephrase the example. So you bought 20 kg. So you bought several kgs of material. Out of 20 kgs left over, and the test 20 kg was purchased at 100 rupees per kg. So value of material as per your record, accounting record, is how much? 2000 rupees. In the market, let's say the price of the material has gone up to 110 rupees. Okay. So if you procure today same material, you have to pay 110 rupees. So what is the value as per market? 2200. Okay, but you will record at only 2000 rupees. So that is the first case. When the market price is high, your cost is lower. So you will go by the cost and market, whichever is lower. Let's say like a second example. Let's say the actually price has become 180 rupees in the market. Sorry, 80 rupees in the market. So what is the value of material then? You have how many kg left? 20 kg. What is the value of material as per market? 1600, correct? Now what is the cost? 2000. Which is lower? 1600, 2000. 1600. So now as per the conservative concept, inventory valuation concept here, we have to value the material, we have to present the material in my balance sheet as 1600. So the point is that when the value is lower, you report the lower value, but value is higher, you can report the higher value. You cannot book an asset value higher because market price is higher as such. This is another example of conservatism concept. Any doubt?
So when market price is lower, then can we report it the cost price?
No, it is cost or market, whichever is lower.
Sir, but why do we do it?
So that actually it is a conservatism. You do not want to show more profit and future, suppose the actually price goes down again, you will have problem as such, because you have to book then less losses that time. But suppose you have booked at loss now, and future you to base profit is not a problem as such. So the conservative concept says that you try to show less profit as per this. Not that always like that, but in this concept you have to show less profit. Don't anticipate the income. You can anticipate the losses, but don't anticipate the income or gain. Okay, that is the concept as such. But there is a question mark. People question about it. But there are some exceptions, like your gold retail companies. They will be reporting the value at the market price. They will not report at cost procurement cost. Their exceptions are there also. Okay, so the gold store, they will value the inventory every day, and they will say value of inventory is more, value of inventory is less. So they will booking some gain or losses every day as such, because that is a very liquid asset which can be actually sold at a higher price if the price goes up, or sold at a lower price if the price goes down as such, but not in normal course of business. Okay, so with this we have discussed more or less important accounting concepts. Then let me show you an annual report of the company. Okay, before the annual
Excuse
report,
me,
let me
sir.
talk about, yeah,
Sir, can you please explain cost again once more?
cost.
Yes, sir.
Cost concept is that you have to record the value at the cost of the procurement or cost of getting the things done as such. Okay. So the example is that suppose you buy a machine for 10,000 rupees. Okay. And maybe you have some transportation cost also, because you have to bring the machine to your place, install, etc. So total cost of installation machine is 12,000 rupees, including machine value. Okay. So you will be recording at 12,000 rupees only, but maybe in the market the value of the machine may go up or come down. Okay, that is a non-current asset machine. The value of the machine may go up or come down. You don't bother about that. Market value goes up or come down, don't go. You will be still recording at 12,000 rupees only. Yes, the machine will depreciate over a life. That's okay. That value will come down gradually, but you will not increase or decrease because market value is increasing, decreasing. If machine, that is not a problem, that is not a phenomena. But in case of some real estate property, suppose you buy a building or land, some real estate, so that value will be going up or coming down because of market condition. But you will not do the revaluation every time the market value goes up or comes down. Then you will be doing that only, not the business assets. Okay. So everything, all these things related to that asset will be based on cost. How much depreciation will be based on cost, not based on the market value. So this cost concept is also known as historical cost. Okay. Right.
Yes, sir.
Then, yeah, then we have a very beautiful concept as such, that is forms of business organized in terms of ownership. Okay, like you have a single owner, like your nearby Kirana stores, maybe there is no partner, there is only one owner as such. Everything, he is the owner, he is the manager, maybe he will have some employees. So single owner, the sole proprietorship. You have more than one sole proprietor, it's called a partnership. Okay, but the sole proprietor is a partnership does not give a recognition to the business as such. Yes, you are known in the immediate environment, immediate neighborhood. Some people know you. Okay. But if you need an identity, it is better that you form your business as a corporate form or organization. So corporate form or organization gives an identity to the business as such. So that is called company. Okay. That is called company or corporate form or organization. Now if you look at the corporate form organization, you have a limited and unlimited liability concept here. Okay, so let's say an example. Suppose you are a sole proprietorship firm, right? You took a loan of, you started a business with, let's say 1 lakh rupees, and you took a loan of 1,20,000 rupees. So what is the total asset of the company? Yes.
2,20,000.
Pardon?
2,20,000.
2,20,000. So let me give an example here. Let's me in the Nidhi itself. So loan, equity 1 lakh rupees, let's say, and loan 1,20,000 rupees. Okay. you have got cash, how much? 2,20,000 rupees. Suppose next thing what you did, you bought a machine for 80,000 rupees. What will happen now? Balance sheet will change now. So
Yes, the
cash
cost
will
fall.
become how much? The machine in 80,000 rupees. And cash will be how much? 1,40,000 rupees.
60,000.
No, 1,40,000, 80,000 rupees machine. So 2,20,000 together. Right. Then what you do next transaction? You bought some inventory. Okay. Inventory you bought, let's say 30,000 rupees. Okay. So what will be inventory? 30,000. And what will be the cash now? Right? You bought some inventory 30,000 rupees. You also bought a furniture. Furniture for 25,000 rupees. Okay, 20,000 rupees. So what will my cash now? 90,000 rupees. Right? So it will now summation. Telling. Okay. Now let's say for some unfortunately an accident took place. All the assets are gone. All the assets have been lost. Nothing is there recovered. Okay. What remains in the business?
Cash.
All assets except cash, because your cash is actually in the bank. Okay, all assets except cash and bank is lost. Lost in fire, no insurance, hence no recovery of amount. Okay. Now what happens? What is my liability now? What is my asset now? Tell me, what will be the asset and liability structure?
Asset cash liability 22.
Asset is 90,000, equity is 1 lakh, loan is 1,20,000. Right? Now what will your lender say? Suppose you would like to say that I'll close the business because anyway all the thing gone, I don't know what will happen. So now what to do? You will go to lender. How much you can give maximum?
90,000.
90,000. What about the rest balance?
Sir, lender will have to forgive.
Lender have to forgive. No. It depends on the organization structure. Okay. If you are a sole proprietor, right? Your liability is unlimited. Now you have to use your personal assets to repay this balance 30,000 rupees. Similarly, for a partner, so there are two partners are there, they have to give 15,000 rupees each so that the loan is repaid. Till the sole proprietor, the partner declare themselves insolvent. That means they will show that we do not have assets that much to repay this business loan. You have to keep on giving that for the business. So liability is unlimited in case of sole proprietors and partnership. Okay. Now, if you want to take advantage of the liability on, because this is a business, the business things can go wrong. You cannot make the shareholders always accountable for whatever business doing. Shareholders given some money. You can say that keep on pumping money and money because the business is having some liabilities can't pay also. You cannot make them. Yes, shareholders can invest in the company for additional shares, but the same share they can be asked to pay more money. Okay. So, but in case sole proprietorship partnership, that is there, you have to pay. Your personal assets will be used for taking care of the obligations of the business. If you want to have that problem, no, sorry, advantage, no, I should not be giving my personal assets for the business, okay, because business owes, then I have to form my entity which has got limited liability. So in that case, you set up yourself as a corporate form or company form. There you can enjoy the beauty of limited liability. In that case, if the fire takes place in this business, suppose the fire took place, what will happen, you know? You will be paying only 90,000 rupees. When business will pay 90,000, the business is declared insolvent, but not the business owner. Please keep that in mind. The business owner is nothing to be declared insolvent. The business is declared insolvent. Okay, that is the beauty of having a corporate form of organization, and you can have a limited liability. Now also in partnership also you have a concept called limited liability partners also. You have that now. That is called LLP. Earlier it was not in India, but now it has been inserted. Similarly, if you are a sole proprietorship but still like to have a limited liability, then in the new companies, Companies Act 2013, you have got a provision where you can set up a company called OPC, one person company. Okay, one person company you also can list, you can set up your business as a company, but there are certain threshold limit. That means if the share, the total capital exceeds a particular figure, total sales exceed a particular threshold limit, please go and find out in that link what is the threshold limit. Okay, then you have to invite somebody else as your shareholder. It cannot remain one person company, but it is there to encourage small businesses to start up, okay, which can start as a company, because corporate company gives an identity. You know, in a particular name, a company is only one company in this country. You cannot have more than one company in same name, never. Okay, but sole proprietorship, so many, you will have Balaji Sweets, okay, some Kirana store, so many business you will find across the South India for that matter, let's say. Okay, similarly you go to Calcutta, Ganguram, same Ganguram name can be there, unless it's registered also, it can be there also. So several, but it's a corporate form, you will have only one company in one name, not more than one company in same name. Okay, now comes in the limited liability, limited versus unlimited liability discussed, then company also can be classified into called public limited and private limited. Can anybody tell me what is public limited, what is private limited?
So public would be something listed on the stock market, I think. Private would be a company which is not listed on the stock market.
So public can be like, I think according to me, public can be the government has control, and private is
But you have also one more classification there in the next one is public sector versus private sector.
That's why I said that it could be listed on the stock market or not, because public sector versus private sector can be BSNL versus Reliance, something like that.
Okay, good
So
example.
this
Yeah.
I think
own
it means that.
Yeah, one
Sir,
at
I
a
think
time.
it means that majority shares are owned by the government in public limited.
No. Okay. Yeah, one of the girl who is trying to answer, please go ahead, then I'll explain.
so public limited is owned by the public also in form of stock, like it is registered on stock market, then even common public can buy the shares. They are the shareholders, the public. And private limited, it is the property of the like their private property of the co-founders or the investors to themselves. It is restricted.
Okay. So in the first category of public limited and private limited is that private means closely held. Few of us can come and join a set of private limited. Limited you already know. We know the limited meaning. So privately held. So we know each other, who are the owners and all those things, right? Whereas suppose you like to make it more shareholders to coming, then it becomes public limited. Public limited means large shareholding is there. Okay. And a private limited, the minimum number is 2 members and maximum is 200 members. If more than 200 members you want as owner, then it has to be public limited company. And to be listed, you have to be public limited company. Not that all listed companies are public limited, but does not mean that all public limited companies are listed companies. Please keep that. If you want to list it, because listing of the shares in the market gives an entry and exit option for the shareholders or new shareholders to come and buy your share, or old shares can exit if you are listed. Because in the stock market, somebody will give a buy code, somebody will give a sell code, and one can enter, buy shares of another shareholder and become shareholders. And company comes to know that yes, this particular share numbers have shareholders have changed and somebody else has bought this particular number of shares as such. Whereas in public sector or private sector, it depends upon how much is owned by the government, how much is owned by non-government. Okay, that likely somebody is given example, BSNL versus Reliance. So Reliance Industry is a private sector company, but public limited. BSNL is a public sector company, but also public limited. You can have private limited in public sector, you can have private limited in private sector, you can have public limited in private sector, public limited in also private sector. So public versus private in limited, public limited, it has nothing to do with the government and private there. Public sector, private sector, yes. Who is owning? Joint sector is public plus private, like Maruti started a joint sector, government of India as well as Suzuki, they invested in this company. This joint sector where both of them are there. Okay. You know, by chance, ITC Limited has government also shareholding. In ITC Limited, government of India some shareholding is there. Please go and check about that. We have also talked about listed and unlisted. Okay. Then you have
Sir,
charter
ITC
corporation. There are
Limited.
certain.
So ITC Limited is a fully public company, right? It has no promoters.
It's a public limited company. It's a public limited company. There's nothing called fully public. It's a public limited company.
Okay.
And it's a private sector, but there is some investment also in government of India in that company. Yeah, what is that question?
Sir, private limited is not listed on stock market.
No. If you want to list it, you have to public limited. And please keep in mind, your stock company is not listed, company stock is listed. You are trading in shares of the company, you don't trade in the company per se, right? Please keep that in mind. Anyway, yes, your company shares can be listed only if you are a public limited company, not a private limited company. Okay. So what happens in a private limited company, instead of going for a partnership, you go for a private limited company, so you get an identity. Okay, you can deal with your clients, banker more comfortable than a limited liability partnership. Okay, at the same time, you do not have interference. See, as you graduate from OPC to private limited to public limited to listed company, your disclosure requirement, your compliance requirement, or regulatory filing will keep on increasing. There is always a cost of that. So if you sell that, I do not need to incur that. I don't have that much benefit by being a listed company. I don't want to be listed. I have few shareholders who can participate and will come to know each other. So in that case, what is the problem? Suppose you like somebody like exit, he will go and approach those people who are already shareholders. That's what. But if it's a public listed, you want to exit, you can go to market and exit from the shareholding. But you do not want that. You want to manage within your own group, one friends, a set of friends or family members. You can have a private limited company, no problem as such. So that way, less interference will be there. Okay. Chartered corporation is something which is formed as per an act of the parliament or the state. Like life insurance corporation was set up as a charter of the government of India as such. In fact, IOCL also was set up like that. Indian Oil Corporation, ONGC also. The separate acts were there. Okay, so that is called charter corporation or statutory corporation or company. Okay, which is by the statute of a particular government, either in the government, central government, or in the state. There are several state level like Odisha State Financial Corporation, AP State Financial Corporation. Okay, your Okay, there are certain companies which are act as per the act also, as per the specific act passed in the either assembly or the parliament. Okay. Now the question is a company form better form of organization or not? Given a chance, you like to form as a company or sole proprietorship?
Sir, company.
Sir, company.
Because company gives identity. Okay. Any question at this point?
Yes, sir. Sir, why would anyone
Sir,
register an unlimited liability company?
There is a provision, but one may not register. I have not seen any company with unlimited liability company. I have not seen any company. Okay. You may not, but nobody does that actually.
So there is no advantage to it.
I don't know. There could be advantage or not. I cannot say that, but I have not come across any company which is unlimited liability company. If there is an advantage, at least there are some companies doing that. Obviously, limited liability is the one of the greatest innovation in modern management. Without that, company do not exist. Please keep in mind. So that's why this word is there in the company RIL, limited, LTD dot, then nothing but limited actually. You must have seen IOCL, Indian Oil Corporation. Last letter is L, nothing but limited. L stands for limited.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Understood.
Because limited
Sir.
liability is one of the greatest innovation. But what happens? People misuse it. They say like Vijay Mallya keep on saying, you just give a search in the internet, Vijay Mallya and limited liability. You give a search in the internet and see what comes in that.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
try with you here itself. Let's say I am saying Vijay Mallya. Spelling I don't know. Vijay Mallya spelling correct या नहीं पता नहीं.
So this has led to like unlimited liability has led in increase in NPA, right?
Okay, you see that he has given some interview that some example that I did a limited liability company, I took the money and genuinely there are some losses. You can hold me accountable for the business loan. So some people misuse it also. So anyway, Vijay Mallya case is a misuse. That court will tell that final verdict will come. We'll come to know whether he has misused or is a genuinely the money is lost in the business. That is another point. But he has argued that you cannot hold me accountable for the liabilities of the business. If business has taken a loan, if business couldn't repay for some business reasons, you cannot hold the shareholder liable. But if he has fraudulently taken the money, use the money for the purpose for some other thing, then another thing also. Yeah, I think time is going to over. So if somebody has got question, somebody asking.
Sir,
Excuse me, sir.
Sir, what is the difference
Yes.
between OPC and sole proprietorship?
OPC is a company, you have an identity, sole proprietorship is not a company. So
Sir,
you cannot
liability-wise,
invoke the
OPC?
limited liability concept. Just a minute. Limited liability concept cannot be invoked if you are a sole proprietor. But if you set up as a one-person company, you can invoke that condition. So, say limited liability concept. So if there is some problem that happens in business, like the business, the fire took place. If a sole proprietorship, then you have to pay from your pocket and take care of the loan. Unless you declare yourself insolvent. But suppose you set up as OPC, your company will be declared insolvent and you will not be accountable for the business problems. So now given a chance, will you establish yourself as OPC or sole proprietor?
Sir, OPC.
That's the difference.
So, but I have
Yeah.
seen
Any
actually
other
many
question?
sole proprietorships.
Huh? You have not seen?
Sir, I have seen so many sole proprietorships.
Yes. All these
Then why do they do it?
nearby
What's the
store,
advantage?
your cycle repairing shop. Are Baba, OPC also, you have to go on structure. I'll tell you in next class what is required for corporate form of organization. Okay. See what happens in that. You have to have legal structure. You have to appoint somebody who will consult you. And so much. Why you want to go for this thing? I am just buying and selling Pandabba. Why you have to set up my company? I don't need. I know my people, my customers know me in this particular environment. My clients are only here, and supplier anyway come and give me these stocks. So I don't want, because the more it becomes formal, you have more regulatory filing, more compliance. So it's a lot, something you have to do as such, right? So that's why you do not, they don't, if the moment they come to know there is a benefit out of that, more than the cost, they'll go for it. Otherwise, why do you expect a grocery store, your nearby Kirana store or nearby repair mechanic or shop for that? Why they will set up as a OPC? That is what. There is always a trade-off between cost and benefit. If benefit is more than the cost of doing that, you can always go as being set up. There is an option available, but you may exercise, may not exercise that. It was not there till 2013 when the Companies Act was passed, they changed. Till that time, OPC concept was not there. The business existed also. You have to can be private limited company. In that case, you have to have at least 2 shareholders. Your OPC concept was not there. Okay. Last
Excuse me,
question.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, regarding the test, sir, Kumar Tanmay, he could not give the test. There has been a load shedding at his house, so he missed it. He has asked me to inform you.
Okay, that's don't bother. I'm telling the entire batch. If you have a concern, you would discuss with me. Let the student get in touch with you. I'll see the solution.
Yes,
okay?
sir. As soon as the electricity is restored, he will contact you.
Whatever, you don't bother about that. Okay, that takes time from the class. Student is responsible for his or her problem. Okay, I'll address that. I'll find the best way to address that concern. Abhishek Kumar, there are so many Abhishek Kumar. I don't know how many is actually Abhishek Kumar, one student. Anyway, okay. Okay, take care. Bye bye. See you on next Monday. Hopefully, or you may get an announcement.